to the ring. Kenny Norton coming in first, as you see him. His entourage following. By the way, very quickly in Kenny's corner will be some gifted corner people, veterans. Teddy Bentham, there are a few of Benny Fetta, Bill Slayton, Hedgeman Lewis. You know Hedgeman, #1 welterweight contender, and Haywood Jones. And there you see Kenny Norton in a blue velvet robe with white trim. Kenny Norton, a big man, weighed in at 212 3/4 yesterday, an ex-Marine, tough, 28 years of age, and a guy who has proved to us that he's utterly fearless in 2 fights against Muhammad Ali, winning the first, that's when he broke Ali's jaw, and losing the second in a hotly disputed decision. Fighter we've come to respect a very great deal. His task, tactically, in the opinion of most people who know boxing, stay away from Foreman the first 5 or 6 rounds. Then see what happens to George, whether or not he tires, whether or not he grows flustered. Kenny's ring career, 32 fights, 30 victories, 21 by knockouts, 2 defeats, the one to Ali and one to a relative unknown by the name of Garcia.
What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of World Championship fights. We're taking a look at Ken Norton and Big George Foreman. Fight took place March 26, 1974. And Norton fought from 1967 to 1981. He had 50 total bouts, 42 wins, 7 losses, and 33 knockouts. He was trained by Eddie Futch between 1968 and 1973, and Bill Slayton, 1973 to 1981.
Chairman of the Washington State Boxing Commission, the man who was chairman of the World Boxing Council, and brought here personally by Dick Sadler. The Norton forces were against it. Here comes George Foreman now. The Norton forces.
Now, Kenny Norton faced Larry Holmes 1978. It was in Las Vegas, Nevada. 15 rounds for the vacant WBC World Heavyweight Championship belt. 1979, he fought Ernie Shavers for the WBC title eliminator, and he was stopped in the first round.
25 years of age. He weighed in at 220.
February 23rd, 1986, Kenny Norton would crash on the Santa Monica Freeway ramp.
There is no detectable sign,
and I believe that's where he got a lot of his damage that he would suffer.
That caused a furor here.
But Kenny Norton was some fighter.
Until finally, we all learned that yes, indeed, the fight was going to take place.
Now, this fight was for the WBC and the WBA Heavyweight Championship belt. It was between 9,000 and 13,500 spectators in the arena. 70 countries had the opportunity to view this fight. 200 locations between Canada and the United States were able to witness this most exciting bout. And Kenny Norton stood 6'3". He was a heavyweight who weighed 213 pounds and had an 80-inch reach. Big George Foreman will become heavyweight champion when he would knock out Joe Frazier in Kingston, Jamaica. Put him away in 2 rounds. Let's take a look at this fight that took place between Kenny Norton and Big George Foreman, March 26, 1974.
10-point must scoring system per round. Mandatory 8 count. 3 knockdowns in a round will not end the fight. The 3 knockdown rule has been waived. There'll be no saving by the bell. And repeating what I said earlier, the referee, Jimmy Rondeau from Seattle, Washington, will have no voice in the scoring. 3 Venezuelan judges will score this fight at ringside. And finally, referee Jim Rondeau will be the boss of this fight in the ring. The introduction of Foreman is not warmly received down here. Norton is in effect the hometown gladiator. They've taken to Norton and not to Foreman. Foreman knows all about that in Kingston, Jamaica. He became the hometown favorite against Joe Frazier. And at ringside with us today. He'll be coming in with his stage comments from time to time is Angelo Dundee, Muhammad Ali's noted trainer. There's the introduction of Kenny Norton. Norton will be wearing blue velvet trunks with white trim. Very colorful ring announcer, as you can see. Now the instructions from referee Jimmy Rondeau. Well, you're not able to hear him, but I've already told you the rules of the fight, and what Jimmy is telling them is not to hit on the brake, and all of the rest of the usual that goes with the referee's instructions just before the fight. Don't clinch too much, and we'll watch Jimmy during the fight to see how much position he maintains and how much physical strength he has in controlling two very big men. And above all, whether or not he lets Foreman try to manhandle Norton the way he manhandled Frazier, pushing Frazier off at the shoulder. That's why there was such a big hassle over the referee in the first place, because the Norton forces wanted to make sure that a referee wouldn't permit it. The bell for round one. Round is an important round in terms of watching Norton's tactics and strategy. Note, as I've reminded you in past Norton fights, how he lags that right leg. He comes at you in a kind of diagonal way, which in the opinion of Ali makes him very hard to hit. Ali, by the way, is at ringside today, along with Joe Louis. Norton is using the left and backing off. Foreman is stalking. Norton, if he gets hit by Foreman, will be really facing a test, because Foreman is a terrific puncher. Any man who can do what he did to Joe Frazier must be called a terrific puncher.
Oh.
Foreman got in a couple of pretty good ones to the head. We have about a minute and a half left in this, the first round. Remember when Norton fought Ali, he was the aggressor. Angie?
This is something this guy's doing the wrong thing. Wait, lay him back, lay him back. That's Foreman's game. The guy's going to get some great shots in on him.
That was, of course, Angelo Dundee, Muhammad Ali's trainer, as we approach the 2-minute mark in round one.
At this point in time, Kenny Norton knows he's in a fight.
We saw Foreman with an amateurish miss, but he came back with a left.
Once Foreman decides to open up on Norton,
He hurts with every
Norton will know about it.
3 good lefts in a row and 2 more, maybe 3. He's got Norton against the ropes. Foreman the clear aggressor throughout the first round. Norton's corner yelling, "Get away!" The strategy obvious. Stay away from him as long as you can. Maybe he'll tire, maybe he'll fluster. 15 seconds left in the round.
Now Foreman will step up this round.
Foreman to the right of your screen, Norton to the left.
Now Foreman decides to cut the ring off.
Foreman the clear aggressor. Now Kenny threw a couple of lefts and the crowd reacted. Angie Dundee, between rounds, has already said it's not the same Foreman who fought Joe Frazier. Well,
You can already see Norton will be KO'd in this fight.
Activity over the past 14 months due to George Foreman. How much did his personal problems, including lawsuits, financial distress, and a ruptured marriage and divorce proceedings, divide his concentration? And what about his knee? Was it really hurt this morning? So far, we've detected no sign of a limp. And yet, he was half carried, half limped into a minibus to go to the hospital this morning. Oh, that's spotting right.
Ken Norton is hurt. Ken Norton needed to move.
Oh, there's the right again.
This was the wrong fight for Ken Norton.
As he went against the ropes, Rondo is calling it a knockdown.
Ken Norton would never be the same for the remainder of the fight.
Sluggish or no, long puncher or no, that Foreman is a terrific puncher.
Oh, goodness.
Rondo breaks. Puts him back, but Norton is already rubbing
Foreman is right on him.
and Foreman is
Woo! My goodness. No way in the world Norton is going to be able to survive this fight.
in his corner. No, he does know. He just nodded that he can indeed get up, but look at
This fight is over.
He's in bad shape. It's all over apparently.
And Foreman is right there next to him, ready
Went less than 2 rounds.
to be there when they decide what they're going to do.
I don't have the official.
The referee made that decision,
George Foreman is the stunning winner
and the fight is over.
heavyweight champion of the world. Call it no contest. Whatever his problem, whatever his trouble, this man has to be acclaimed, I think, here and now as one of the most terrific punchers I have seen.
Until he lost to Ali back in September. And now it looks like we're just about set as the fighters are being introduced. They're talking about the weights coming into this fight. Coming into this fight, the referee is George Curd. And this has certainly been a big problem with this fight because of the fact that the handlers of George Foreman, namely Dick Sadler, wanted an American referee, but it's not to be that way. Fighters being introduced.
I just say that's awful bad to make him protest like that and lose it, because mentally he's lost one round before the fight started.
Now we understand that the referee, and this has been quite a thing, Jimmy Rondo is the referee. Jimmy Rondo. Jimmy Rondo is an American from Seattle, Washington. So it looks like Foreman's people got their wish. As I mentioned a while ago, this fight was in doubt up until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Suddenly Foreman came up with a bad knee. But evidently when Jimmy Rondo was announced as the referee, things were settled. Here they are in the center of the ring. What do you think about Muhammad Ali when you're in there like this?
Well, right now, you know, you're a little nervous, you're a little shaky in the knees. But it's a funny thing, after I guess ball players experience the same thing. After the bell rang and you come out and the first punch is thrown, then it's just like another day in the gymnasium.
There it is from a man who certainly knows.
George Foreman and I have just been offered $5 million apiece, which is unbelievable, by the government of Zaire, which used to be known as the Belgium Congo in Africa. And if he can win this fight tonight, which I don't think he will, if he win the fight, he and I will defend, he'll have to defend his champion again in the Congo.
Well, that's certainly your territory, Ali, but right now, talking about this fight, look at the concentration and the stare job that Foreman is putting on Ken Norton.
Now, George Foreman's camp, Dick Sadler, wanted an American judge, and they were not going to get an American judge. So George Foreman, all of a sudden his knee was in bad shape, and they were going to go to the hospital. Once they found out an American judge was granted, George Foreman's knee is 110%.
George Foreman, while left hand over the head of George Foreman. Both fighters exactly the same size. Foreman slightly heavier, about 7 or 8 pounds heavier. Norton and Foreman both 6'3". On the right-hand side of your screen is the champion, Foreman. On the left-hand side is Ken Norton. Norton in blue, Foreman in red. Round one just underway in Caracas, Venezuela. Foreman showing the concentration. Foreman looks a little bit more patient than we've seen him. He knows he's got a fight cut out for him because he's in against a real big fella. Foreman goes out with that light left taken on the shoulder by Ken Norton. There's the pushing tactics.
Now the problem Kenny Norton is having, George Foreman is cutting off the ring. He's not giving Kenny Norton a target to hit.
Won't call it a classic style.
And everything George Foreman is hitting Ken Norton with has viciousness all over it.
The champion.
Box him, Kenny. Box him, Kenny.
Oh my God.
Straight left hand thrown by Foreman, taken on the face, and
Ken Norton is getting hammered.
Kidney. That's a punch you got to watch out. There's a good left hand, the best right that we've seen. Foreman pushes down on the head of Norton and landed a right hand, straight left hand to the face of Ken Norton.
You have to have a master jab to be in there
Trying to jab more
with George Foreman.
hand. This is what they say it has to do. Kind of a fishing left hand thrown by the champion. Right hand to the kidney thrown by the champ. Both fighters, the best punch is their left hook. There's the right hand again to the kidney of Kenny Norton. Norton takes a light left, throws a right of his own. 1 minute remaining in round one. Very even first round to this point. Light left hand taken, wild right hand.
Kenny Norton's not going to make it.
Gloves by Norton. Norton scores with a left hand to the side of Foreman's head.
He's good for another round or two. You can see that.
Light left on the forehead.
Because George Foreman's getting too close to him.
Good left hand on the forehead of Ken
It's a matter of time when he gets him on the ropes.
Norton with his back up against the ropes. This is where he can't afford to stay. Slips the punch and slides around to his left. Very important type of movement.
Oh, my
Hanging
God.
on with that left hand and tries to throw that wild right hand to the body. Foreman is not a great boxer.
Ali wants Norton to box him. Use the jab and move.
Norton is a good boxer.
Kenny Norton doesn't fight that way.
Foreman comes in and tries to hold up. Norton backs up. 9 seconds remaining.
Kenny Norton is right now in unfamiliar territory.
Foreman kind of feeling out Norton. There we go. The opening round of the heavyweight championship of the world in Caracas is history. Mohammed, what did you think of the first round?
Just like I thought it would be, Kenny Norton boxing. George Foreman not throwing all those hard punches and punching them out easy like he did Joe Frazier, because Kenny Norton's a great fighter. Any man who goes 12 rounds, 24 rounds with me, it's got to be great. And ain't no George Foreman, who's still a good amateur, going to destroy Ken Norton, because I couldn't do it. And I'm proud of what Norton did, because it shows the world that Norton is a great fighter.
That's George Foreman we're watching. He hardly looks like he's built up a sweat yet. That's Archie Moore working on him. His handler, Dick Sadler. Coming up to round two. First round very even. Maybe a slight edge on the amount of leather landed on Norton would have to give to George Foreman. Muhammad Ali is continually yelling instructions to Ken Norton. This is Norton's corner here now. Norton filled with concentration. He's a positive thinker. In fact, he won the Napoleon Hill Award for positive thinking, a foundation award. Here we go, round two, the heavyweight championship, Caracas, Venezuela. George Foreman, Ken Norton on your left. Now watch Foreman try to cut off Norton in the corners, but Norton is working the left jab much better as he slips a punch and out of that corner. This is what Norton must do. Long right hand that lands just on the left-hand side of the head of Foreman. Norton tries to jab. Foreman holds those hands up and tries to push. No damage done there. Foreman pushed that away. Foreman will try to push, and he'll push his man down with his left hand and then throw the right. Foreman, see him trying to cut Norton off on the corners. Kenny Norton has got plenty of boxing experience. 24 rounds with Ali, has a master's degree in boxing at any man's school. This is what he can't do. He can't mix it up with Foreman inside. Referee Jimmy Rondo separates.
Oh, good jab by Kenny Norton.
First real clinch of the fight. Round two. Scheduled for 15, the heavyweight championship of the world. Oh, good right.
Very nice combination thrown by George Foreman. Kenny Norton is just about done.
And it looks like Norton is really
He's not going to be able to recover from these punches.
The referee is giving it the count. Yes, he'll have to take the 8 count.
Unfortunately for Ken Norton, it's all up to George Foreman.
In the second round. Norton goes down again. A left hand on the
Oh my God.
Norton goes back. He'll have to take another 8 count. No, he doesn't. His legs are rubbery as the left hand goes to the side of his head. A right uppercut on the left. Vicious left sends Norton crumbling to the canvas. For the second time. Norton is in Queersville. He doesn't know where he is.
Kenny Norton has no idea where he is. This fight is over.
Norton can make it. It might be all over right here. It's up to 9, 10, and are they going to continue it?
George Foreman is right next to Kenny Norton.
Looks like it may be all over, and it is all over.
Kenny Norton better be happy that wasn't a street fight. And George Foreman is looking at Muhammad Ali.
We'll make our way in the ring here and talk to George Foreman, who has retained the heavyweight title. George! Hey, let's get George over here for television. Champ! Let's get George on television. Millions of people around the world. George wants to bout everybody. A lot of confusion in the ring here in Caracas. We're going to get to the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman, winner in a second round knockout. Wants to bow to everybody, reminiscent of the days, and certainly in the Olympic Games where George Foreman went around the ring with a flag. Tremendous second round knockout for George Foreman. We're going to get to him and talk to him. Watch the microphone. Hey, George. Let us get it, George. George. A million people around the world want to talk to the champion. George. Hey, watch it now. Watch it. Come on, champ. There's a million people around the world that want to talk to the champion. Right over the machine. Let's go. Let's get him on television. Hold on. Let's get the champion on television. We good all this damn food. Remember me, Jamaica. All right, I remember you now. No more talk. Okay. Yes. No more champ.
That's saying right there. No more talk.
Great fight. Champ. Great fight, champ. Great fight. George. What is it? Come over here so we can get you on television. Will you please? Millions of people.
Let me leave that one alone.
Champ, how about it? Did you think you could do it so early in the fight?
I was very fortunate to catch him with some good punches. The man is strong. He's got a good jab, which surprised me. Dick, I knocked you not to get excited now.
Champ, the big story has to be what happened today with the leg. What was that story?
Well, God bless me. My leg is in bad shape. I have to get some rest on it. I couldn't even walk this morning.
Tell me, what punch did you actually drop him with, George? George, turn around for television, will you please? We've got certainly pandemonium in the ring here. Pandemonium. George, what punch was it that you took him out with?
I think it was a number of right hands. They wasn't real sharp, but they were right on the button. Once I got him hurt, I didn't let him come out of it.
Did you really believe that you could take him out? I know the pre-fight you said you could.
Well, I've been punching hard and I won. I'm proud, okay?
Okay, George. Never mind, Cosell. We've got 100 million people listening to you
That's
right
right.
here.
That's right.
Okay.
All the people are important. Cosell is like you, just another good guy.
Okay. George, where do you go from here now? The big fight coming up in September against Muhammad Ali?
Well, first I want to get home. My mother had to be hospitalized while I was away. So I have to go home and see my mother, see how she's doing. Then rest a bit and then see what's up.
Champion, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great, good talking to you. See if we can get over and talk to Kenny Norton now. If we possibly can, get our mic cords over here to talk to Ken Norton.
As you can see, Don King
in the ring.
standing next to George Foreman.
Trying to get to Kenny Norton here. Tremendous confusion here and complete pandemonium in the ring. Try and open it up here. Got to get Ken Norton. Tremendous confusion. They talk about his left hook. Here's Muhammad Ali again. Muhammad. They want you on national television again and around the world. How about that big fight coming up? Tell me about that fight.
George Foreman, he's too slow. He can't hit me with this stuff. I'm a professional.
Turn around and face that camera over there, Ali. They want to hear about you and talk to you around the world.
He hit Ken Norton just like he do all his opponents. Caught him early. I mean, he hits hard, but if a man can stay out of the way for 5 rounds, stick him, move, stay out of range, be in good shape, he'll retire George Foreman. This man depends on getting this man in the first 1 or 2 rounds. If he don't do that, he's frustrated. Stick him with left jabs and right crosses, tie him up and box him, and you will retire him. I know this man is going to whoop George Foreman, and I'm going to whoop him of all places in Africa, in the Congo, where the Lumumba boys are.
Ali, now that you have your cool about you and you calm down at this point, I want you to answer this question. How could that man go 24 rounds with you and only 2 with the heavyweight champion of the world?
Because George Foreman is not as good of a fighter scientific as I am, but I admit he's stronger and he hit harder. I'm not a hard puncher. I'm not known for being a hard puncher. I fought many men like Floyd Patterson, Zoe Foley, George Fowler, who are stronger than I am. Many I couldn't knock out, Sonny Liston. But I'll tell you this, boxing ability, speed, whooping him on points, for the distance if necessary. Then I'll whoop him.
Well, fight in your home territory. You couldn't be any happier the way this is coming up in September.
Why would you call Africa my home territory?
You've been telling me that for 10 years.
That's right, and if you come over there talking like that, we'll cook you.
That's it from Muhammad Ali. If I go over to the Congo, and I'll probably be there, I'm going to get cooked.